Failure can bring out negative feelings when we are exposed to it, which is normal. But failure can be also good. We can learn from failures, but we need to find the right tools to do it. Together with Huib, a testing expert, a coach, and a fan of Testopsy, we will discover all these approaches that help us analyze our processes, our teams, and how we can learn from failures. Hello, Shift Happens viewers. It's a Thursday afternoon and we are getting ready to learn something new. This time we'll try to learn from failure and analyze it and learn again and analyze it again. So we have Huib with us. Thanks for taking time.
You're welcome.
Let's start with the most difficult question. Who are you?
That's a very difficult question. I'm Huib Schoots. I live in the Netherlands. I've been in IT for about 30 years almost now. The last 10 to 15 years, I'm a trainer, a coach, and I help organizations, teams to improve their quality.
Okay. Is this what wakes you up in the morning?
Yes.
You want the organizations to improve their quality?
Yeah, well, I was in a session. He has a very difficult name to pronounce, but he's the magician.
Yeah.
You probably know him. And he talked about what makes you tick. So I thought about that and helping people understand how quality works and let them work together better, changing their mindset. That's what makes me tick. Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa. Tell me about your early stages experiences or even childhood experiences. What led you to this career?
That's also an interesting question. As a kid, I was an explorer. So everything with electricity, I would grab a screwdriver and open it to see how it works. I got electrocuted a couple of times, not deadly, but enough to become more cautious and cautious. So I always asked questions to my dad and my mom, like how does this work? I was always in a search for stuff. So if my parents lost something in the house, they would always ask me, do you know where this and this is? Because I was always searching cabinets and just to, I don't know, I just wanted to see and I wanted to know. And I noticed stuff, and that made me curious, and then I was starting asking questions. And then in my career, I wanted to be an accountant because that made a lot of money. And then I went to school. And
another thing that wakes you up in the morning.
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Money is just convenient. So I found out that to become an accountant, you have to do all these boring things like bookkeeping and so I changed my study from accountancy to business informatics because I was especially interested in how IT works and how organizations work. That's why I did business informatics. I started as a programmer, which didn't make me happy because being behind a keyboard trying to...
Seemed again boring, repetitive stuff.
Yeah. So I was the program manager, I was the assistant, I was the tester, I was the guy who did the installations at clients. I did all kinds of things to get away from my keyboard. And helping people made me tick. So I started being a trainer, and later on in my career, I did a coaching education. And that really was like, oh, wow. Being able to help people with not only work-related problems, but also physical things, mental things, making people, get the best out of them. That really helped me and really enjoyed doing that.
And once again, it's the searching that you've been training for in your childhood, right? It's the same searching.
Absolutely. It's trying to fully understand how people think, why they have issues. So analyze their thinking by having good conversations and then helping them see, because as a coach, you can't change people. You can only put a mirror in front of them and say, hey, this is what I see.
Yeah.
This is what I think you are experiencing. Is that correct? And then making people realize, oh, wait, this is what I'm doing, so I maybe want to change that.
A very interesting topic that I've been introduced to a lot lately, based on the books that have been recommended to me, a podcast that I've been following. Failure.
Nice.
Failure. It's always with us. It was, it is, and it will be. We just have to change the way how we approach it, right?
Yeah.
And I thought about having this topic in our conversation and see how are you looking at failure. And let's start with a failure example, one that you think would be useful. What is the failure example that you imagine now and that we can explore from?
Okay. Well, first, let me. I'm a perfectionist.
Okay.
I have OCD, so I like things to be in order, and to be correct. And I sorted my books on color, and then I sorted my books alphabetically, and it never really pleased me.
Which is a way of avoiding some failure.
Yeah, no, it's just that's how my brain works, and
Okay.
and I hated failure. I was a field hockey keeper, and as soon as a keeper makes a failure, it's almost always a goal.
Okay.
That had two impacts on me. First, was it made me train real hard to make sure that I got better and better and better, so I wouldn't fail. On the other hand, every failure made me weak, disappointed in myself.
Okay.
And when I got older, people told me like, you should be less harsh on yourself.
Of course.
It's okay to fail. But I was afraid of failure. So in my school exams, the earlier ones were okay because then there was no pressure. But the last ones were always the big pressure, and I would black out because I really wanted to score perfect, but it's impossible. So I learned and it made me depressed, and it made me, well, completely black out. And doing therapy made me realize, like, hey, but failure is there to learn. And when I started to be a coach, I learned that you have to fail to achieve your goals.
Okay.
If you only succeed, you will never find out why you succeed.
Yeah.
And it changed my mind, although it's still hard, as I feel it's like, I hate it. And now I often fail. I sometimes go on stage and do a talk, and halfway it's like, it doesn't have the flow. And if you asked me 10 years ago, I would be annoyed by myself, and people would see like I would get stiff on stage, and currently it's like, okay, let's do it different. So on stage I can change my mind and say, hey, this is okay. It's okay to be not perfect. It's okay not to be the best speaker on a conference, because there are so many great people that do great talks.
It's okay not to know a solution to a problem you have in your project.
Yeah, but that's how testing works. Testing is being okay with not knowing things yet. We do complex shit, and the systems we work on are really hard to comprehend. 15 years ago, I would say to you, like, I need to know instantly how this works.
Yeah.
And now I enjoy finding out how it works. And that makes my life a whole lot easier. And that's what I'm trying to teach people. Learning comes in steps. It's okay to be confused.
Yeah. For developers, it's a problematic mindset. They enjoy finding the paths that are without failures.
Yeah.
That's why they need testers in their life more than they want them. Even though they think testers are the one that give me more work to do for a story that I've already marked as developed, done.
I like to reframe that. I always tell developers, although not directly, like, hey, I'm the one who makes you look good. You can have all the credits for the working software. I don't need to be the one who says, oh, look, I found all these bugs. So let's work together and try to make software that it's has enough value. You can't make perfect software. That's an illusion. Jerry Weinberg wrote a book on that, Perfect Software and Other Illusions. But
or not? or not?
No, you can't. You can't make perfect software.
You can.
No. It's impossible. There will always be mistakes.
Product teams think that if we have the perfect end-to-end testing framework in our system, then we should deliver what is requested to be delivered
Absolutely.
bug-free.
I don't believe in bug-free software. No. There will always be bugs, but if we find the most difficult problems or the most problems that will seriously impact users, then we're okay. It's okay to have a button that, well, maybe has the wrong color, or is the wrong size, or there's a spelling error in a text somewhere. I hate it, but still, software can work.
Yeah.
But if your brakes on your car do not work, that might impact your health. So we need to find those serious problems, and all the others,
it is again one of the goals of our season this year to try to help tech guys understand that humans that we are building software for sometimes are in need of that software. It's
Absolutely.
software that it's embedded in the national health system. It's people waiting for their prescription in front of a pharmacy if that software is not working properly. It's software in robots doing surgical operations. If that software is not doing the thing right, it's with a higher impact than.
Absolutely.
Because I often been part of conversation where we were talking with friends that are medical doctors, and they say, you guys, what do you care about? It's not like you have the same responsibility that we have when we are in a surgical operation. Things have changed, right?
It depends on what you work on. I'm currently working for an organization that does the administration for medical services that prevent you from being sick. So if you call in sick, they have a doctor that looks after you from the company side. Is it important? I think it's really important.
Yes, it is.
Will people die if the software not works?
No.
Not really.
Yeah.
But still, we have over 2 million clients.
Yeah.
So
understand.
Many people will be impacted if this software not work. It's the same with banking software. Nobody will die, but if you can't get
companies might.
But if you can't get your hands on your money, you can't pay your mortgage or whatever. It's serious issue. So and it will impact. So I agree with doctors saying, but hey, I deal with people's lives every day. That's a big responsibility, and even those people make mistakes. But we have an important job as well.
Yeah. Plus that we have to keep an eye on that edge cases topic, right? I'm building a software that everyone is keeping on their phone, and 99% are not using it, but 1% will be in a potentially harmful situation, and that software should work flawlessly in that moment and send an alert to the 911 emergency system and give them some help.
That kind of software is important, but the software that, like a game or an online web shop,
where we invest more time and energy in testing and quality, right? Because making more money.
Absolutely. And that's the ethical part of it. Especially in the country I come from, the Netherlands, in medical healthcare, they don't have as much money as in financial, like the Amazons. They have loads of money, so they can make their websites really good, while the software people are using in hospitals is less. There's less money to build it.
Yeah. Understand.
Which is strange.
It is. I forgot to thank you for sharing your personal experience with failure and your personal challenges, and I understand from the point of living in a family where I was often hearing stuff like, where would be a risk of you not taking the highest grade or stuff like this. And I ended up being somehow a perfectionist, and then I went to college and I understood their world. It's much more than I saw before, and it's okay to fail in a lot of cases. I didn't care back then, but when I got into the professional in my professional career and I had my first interviews and I was like the A student with Olympiads participation and winning informatics contests, and I was meeting somebody that was telling you didn't understand how that thing works. I couldn't hear anything from that point, and for me it was like, okay, I need to go and study more because I'm not worth of. And then
Sounds
years
familiar.
later, I'm discussing with my colleagues in the teams and I'm shouting out loud, guys, try to do this, but don't spend more than 4 hours. It's okay to come after 4 hours and say, team, I need your help. I failed in implementing what you asked for, and I'm not afraid of saying it. And I'm sure I'm gonna be able to help you when you will fail. But still difficult for developers, at least. For
I think it's difficult for
guys,
humans.
for humans to acknowledge, that
You can't do something or ask for help. There's really, some people are afraid of asking for help. While I think, and I learned over the years that if you ask for help in a nice way, people will always try to help you. And if they can't, they will point you in the right direction and say, hey, go talk to this or this person. He or she can help you.
Let's see how can we learn from it. We need to analyze what is happening, right?
Yeah.
You're a Testopsy fan.
Absolutely.
So let's tell our viewers, what's that Testopsy?
Testopsy is something, it's a session where you need at least two people, although you can do it yourself with a video recording, but it's better to have two people. One is testing the software, it's trying to explain what they do. The other person observing, making notes, trying to fully comprehend what the other person is doing.
Okay.
And then after an X amount of time, you stop and you analyze, okay, what have I done? Was it useful? Do I fully understand what I was doing? Does the other person get what I was doing? So it's like in coaching, it's really important to try to understand the other person thinking. In the Testopsy, we try to do something like that. So we try to analyze, how did you think? What did you do? And to make clear what activities you're doing, what tactics you're using, what techniques you're using. And to be able to talk about that makes you a better tester, but also gives you insight in what you're actually doing and what helps and what's not helpful, what is something you are good at and what's something that you might want to learn.
Okay, so it's helping more the team members, the tester, than and indirectly the product in the end or the project.
No,
but
it's focused on the skills of the tester.
The skills of the tester.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the coaching pair programming sessions that we have with interns in company when we are doing development, and we have the senior one doing the developing, the other one watching, or the other way around, having a junior being interrupted every time by the senior developer. You're not doing it properly. So in comparison, it will be just I'm a silent listener. I take notes, and then we analyze it together.
And maybe
or
ask clarifying questions. So like, hey, you're not talking anymore. What are you doing? Or why are you doing what you're doing?
Okay.
But not giving the other one ideas. Like you're doing something and you're doing it completely wrong, in my opinion. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to ask you, why are you doing this? Why do you think this is important? To make clear, to get a full understanding on your thinking. So it's not like pair programming, we have two people working together. In a Testopsy, it's one person doing the work, the other one. And it could be a group of people observing what's happening, making notes, trying to understand what's happening. And then later on in the debrief, we talk about what happened, why is it effective, why is it not effective, etc.
seems like a more human and natural way of understanding, embracing, learning from the failures
Yeah.
might happen along the process.
Well, it's a way we learn. If, as kids,
Yeah,
we look at our parents and we try to imitate them.
yeah, yeah.
Like that's
yeah.
how you learn how to talk.
Exactly.
Your parents keep telling mama, mama, and then you're trying to. So observing other people do stuff and try to understand why they do it really makes you learn. So you can not that you have to copy what they're doing, but you learn from hey, they do certain things with a certain strategy or tactic in mind. By understanding that, you will learn from observing somebody and engaging with another person while doing it is okay, but I think it's even stronger when you wait and afterwards do a long and a deep debrief on what happened and I think it's a feedback loop and learning is all about feedback.
I don't know exactly if it's a real issue for the testing community, but for the developers community to write technical documentation of what they implement, it's a burden. They hate it. So if we add another topic to take notes about the way we are working, they will be like joyful. But seems like the best way to do it. Testopsy sounds like autopsy.
Yes.
But autopsy, it's at the end, right? When the game it's over, we do it.
Yeah.
Testopsy, it's part of the process, right?
It's a learning tool. It's a learning tool. So if you do an autopsy, you're trying to find out why the person died. If you do it on a human, right? And yes, it's in the end because I don't think it's healthy to start doing that on a living person.
It's not, yeah.
But the goals are the same. Find out what happened. Learn about what happened to this person. And in a testopsy, you try to learn about what happened during testing or what's happening during testing and try to understand why it's happened.
Okay.
And so the goals are similar, although it's a complete different process, of course.
Somehow I'm used to tools like we had this iteration, we finished, let's have a retrospective and see what went well and what went wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do ahead of analyzing and thinking before jumping into solving a problem, but not too often. It's in my teams. It happened a lot of time that in retrospective we decided we should think more about this problem before we jump into solving it. Sometimes it's major incidents and we do a post-mortem and we try to identify what happened. How can we find the right balance between analyzing from the beginning what's happening, analyze it along the process? How much do you adjust the process while doing it in order not to make everyone go crazy by all the changes that you might do?
That's why you have to do it with baby steps.
Okay.
Small steps. Don't try to change big things. And experiment a lot. I strongly believe that an agile way of working is awesome, but it's very context dependent. So if you hire me as a coach and you say my teams need to do Scrum, we'll start with doing Scrum by the book.
Okay.
And that probably won't work.
Probably.
So we'll find out, hey, this, I don't know, sprint review is not working for us. Let's try something different. And before you do that, I want the team to fully understand why a sprint review was in the process at the first place.
Okay.
So let's see how we can achieve that goal in a different way. And if that is jumping up and down on the parking lot and it helps the team to achieve the same goal, it's fine by me. I don't care how you do it, as long as you follow the process and meet the goals the process is trying to describe.
Okay.
And so do baby steps and experiment. So let's try something different. And then after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, look back and say, hey, is this feeling better? Like it's going outside in hot weather. Okay, first you're wearing your ski outfit. It's way too hot. So you take it off, you take all your clothes off, then you walk outside, and people look at you like, "What the fuck is this?" So it's okay. That's not working either. So you
Yeah.
try to put on certain clothes, and while doing it, you'll find out the perfect way for you. I'm comfortable in wearing white polo shirts on conferences. I don't know why, but I just do it a lot, or just a normal T-shirt. But I knew I have to be on camera today, so I dress up a little bit. That makes me feel more comfortable. I found out by trying different things.
But
So
this happened
experimentation
because,
is
yeah,
important.
but you know what to do because you start by identifying where you want to go, what are
Exactly.
the goals. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I think we are often mistaken by reacting to the outcome, to the output, reacting to failure, reacting to somebody in the team
Yeah.
killing a process, reacting to a process killing the energy in the
As you,
team, but we don't know exactly what we needed to achieve from the
I'm
first
laughing
place.
because Paul is making funny faces. But yes, it's all about understanding what are you trying to achieve first. The process is important, but the process needs to lead to the goal you have set.
Yeah,
So if you don't know what the goal is, if you don't know have a mission and a vision for your team or the way you work or the product we're trying to build, if that's not clear, how can you?
of course.
This process doesn't feel well. And then discuss the whys. You mentioned postmortems. I love postmortems because they zoom in on the problem. They zoom, and solving a problem is, I think, for 80% done by defining the problem, by fully understanding the problem, by defining why doesn't this process help us achieve our goals? And then the solution is often quite simple. If you fully did a full and deep analysis on what the problem is, and
Yeah,
but people
I
don't do that. People just feel
the,
wrong and said, "Let's try something different." Why? I don't
this is a
know.
good advice also for experience in your personal life, not only
Absolutely.
professional life. I always debate with my wife. Okay, so what happened? What went wrong? This. Okay, you want me to adjust what went wrong? Let's see what was the cause that led to. I have one great last question for you,
Okay.
and I start by quoting my personal mission: making better people and quality software by connecting, innovating, facilitating, coaching, enabling, and teaching.
Yes,
Okay?
that's. I wrote that.
You wrote that. So, what would be your approach to teach humans besides the things that we discussed about? What is your approach to teach humans how to change how to shift their mindset,
Yeah.
how to change their approach? What do you do better as a coach? Is it just what you mentioned at the beginning, putting a mirror in front of the
Yeah.
individuals? There, it's as simple as that.
It's not as simple as that, but that's basically what you do. As a coach, you try to understand, okay, so what's your goal? What's your learning goal? The first thing I do as a coach, if you ask me, say, can you help me with something?
Yeah.
I will ask you, what are you trying to achieve? What do you want to learn? What do you want to improve? And why? We talk about that.
Okay.
So if you don't have a goal, I can't help you.
Okay, so it's a deal breaker.
So you really have to have a goal.
Okay.
Because I'm not
And
here.
you're not setting the goal as a coach.
I will help you set the goal, but it's your goal. It's not my
Okay.
goal. I don't, as a coach, and that's probably somewhat different as managers do. Managers set your goals. You say, I
Yeah.
want you
Okay.
to go, and I think that doesn't work. If it's not your goal, then you will never be enthusiastic and motivated to really change it.
And not only managers, also teachers in
Absolutely.
school do the same. And when you have new interns in your team, they ask you, what should I do? What should I learn?
Yeah, so that's one, and the second thing that I think is really important is to ask the right questions, to listen carefully, not have an opinion. I don't of course, everybody has opinions about
Yeah.
other people, but try to put them away. It's not
You
about
put your
what I
opinions,
think about
okay.
you. It's what you want.
Okay. And you have to listen more.
Yeah, and that's difficult.
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean,
That's to deeply listen. That's very, very
I know.
difficult. And
I'm
then
an engineer and I cannot stop finding solutions whenever somebody says something. It's difficult.
and don't
Yeah.
advise people. So don't say. And I catch myself doing that a lot because I'm also a teacher. And in teacher, you give advice, but as a coach, you can't say like, maybe you should try blah de blah. You could ask,
should.
have you tried blah de blah?
Okay. It's just
It, it,
a small
it's
touch, but effective.
yes. It's if you make the choice to do something, so you could advise people to say like, hey, maybe you want to think about this, and then give them direction on what they should think about. What's your goal? What have you tried? What feels good for you? Can you figure out a way that might work for you? And then next time we'll talk about it. Instead of saying, hey, you should wear other shoes because that will help you stand up more and then your back pain will go away. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm a
We all do.
coach.
We have ChatGPT and we are all doctors these days.
Yes, but coaching is not about giving advice. Coaching is about helping you understand why you do what you do.
Yeah.
And as soon as you do that, because again, you have a set of thoughts in your head that will make you do the things that you do. You have convictions like, I don't want to be like this, or I strongly feel that we should be on the political left or right. Those are convictions. And those convictions help you guide your thinking
Yeah.
on what you do. And the only way to change those convictions is by giving you new experiences. And I can order you to say, hey, you should walk more, or you should. If you think like, hey,
to come from you. Yeah.
yeah, if it comes from inside you, your intrinsic motivation, that will probably help you to keep on doing it. So coaching is about helping you understand that you really want to change something. That's the first thing, that you have a goal. And then by asking you questions, you come up with your own solutions.
Nice. I really appreciate the discussion we had. Yeah, I know
Welcome.
I learned a lot today, so thank you for that. Do you
Oh.
have any final thoughts or something that I haven't asked about and you want to share with viewers, or maybe recommend a book, or
I recommend
just
the book. That's an interesting question. I don't know.
sleep more and sleep more?
What I
and,
would recommend everybody is do personal retrospectives
okay.
as often as you can. The speaker on stage said he does it every day.
I haven't thought about it. Yes.
I don't do it every day, but I often write in my notebook, like, hey, what happened today? Is it something that I want to change, something that I'm proud of? Because again, congratulating yourself with small achievements. Like probably when I walk away here, I'm gonna say, yeah, was it a good talk? Yeah, we had a good conversation.
Yeah.
There must be tons of things that I could have said differently here, but still, I'm proud of it. And then congratulate yourself. So retrospect, also in a positive way. Be thankful. I'm thankful that the people paying me, my travel, my hotel to be here. I have a boss who lets me off for 4 days and say, hey, go to Romania, have fun there. Do a talk, do a tutorial. I'm privileged to be, and by sometimes just standing still and realizing that makes you a better person.
Indeed.
So-
Yeah, because we have the negative stuff. They always weigh more than the positive small stuff. And if we don't write them, we forget about them and we don't
Everything
acknowledge
you put
them.
your focus on will grow. So if you have negative thoughts and you keep thinking about them, they will grow. So just forcing yourself sometimes to stand in front of the mirror and say, hey, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of myself. I have these little achievements, then they will grow in your mind and they will set your path.
We're gonna close with this message. Everything you put
You're welcome.
focus on will grow.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thanks everyone for watching. If you found our content useful, share it with your friends, with your colleagues in your organization or your colleagues at school. And don't forget to give us feedback on the platforms you are watching. Stay curious and see you on the other side.